Hello, and welcome to your seasonal quarterly readings for summer. Not only is the solstice the longest day of light in the year in the northern hemisphere, it also marks the turning of the seasons when the sun moves into 0 degrees tropical Cancer. This happens Tuesday, June 20th, 2017 at 9:24 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or Wednesday, June 21st at 12:24 a.m. Eastern Time. The solstice translates to mean the still sun. Sol means the sun, and still refers to where the sun climbs and finally reaches its ascent to the apex of the sky at high noon. So now is a seasonally supportive time to shine outwardly and use the fullest potential of your personal power, as does the sun. So for your summer readings, I will do them in 2 parts. For the first part of these readings, I will draw 4 tarot cards. The first will be for the summer solstice starting June 20th up until the end of June on the 30th. The second will be for the month of July, the third for August, and the fourth card for September up until the autumnal equinox on the 22nd. Then I will draw a card from the Angels of Light deck to see how everything fits together energetically and what angelic support you have with you this season. Then for the second part of these readings, I will draw 5 more cards using the summer spread. This layout was presented in the American Tarot Association's 2017 Summer Quarterly Journal, which I have the cover of displayed over here. In this edition's publication, I wrote a feature article titled "Here Comes the Sun" about why I became a tarot reader, which I really enjoyed doing. So I thought it would be fun to use the spread for the summer solstice that was published in this magazine. So let's go ahead and get started with your summer readings. Gemini, let's see what the summer season holds for you for the second half of June, July, August, and the first half of September. Show me the energy for Gemini. Gemini, summer. Okay, so here we have June, July, August, September. All right, so the shadow is the 5 of Swords. This is always an indication that one has to be sort of careful with their words because feelings could get hurt, okay? And it's some sort of like a careless or maybe egocentric sort of energy, like who's right, who's wrong. It really doesn't matter who's right and who's wrong, because everyone has a different perspective on what really happens, and somewhere in the middle is where the truth lies, right? So the first month we have the King of Cups. Okay, so there's a character here that sort of shows up for June. This person is generally pretty fair and open with their feelings. Also, the King of Cups is home, so it could be, you know, a roommate, or it could be a family member or a loved one, or just someone that you're living with possibly, or in a relationship with. And it just feels like there may be some sort of arguing or disagreements of some sort, and it feels like it's home related, over like domestic things, like who did the, you know, who left the dishes out, or it's just something sort of it almost feels kind of petty. And the reason that I'm getting that is because of the Page of Swords, which is not a mature energy. That's sort of looking right at this King of Cups. So the energy between you and this person, whether it's a man or a woman, around the home, it feels like there's a saying that I've been like to use lately. It's like people need bigger problems. It feels petty. Okay, but it's, you know, it's something that I feel like it's a little bit territorial. Like there's an issue about territory here. And it may not be someone that you're living with. Maybe it's just someone is territorial over somebody else. And that's sort of the energy that we're seeing here in June. Okay, and it's somebody, again, that's normally pretty fair, someone who's open with their feelings, someone who's also very sensitive. And I feel like it's someone that you really care about, okay? Here we have this Page of Swords energy coming in July. So again, it's something that I did say at the very beginning. It's like you need to be sort of careful with your words. That would be the Page of Swords indicated here. All right, because the Page of Swords is like sort of saying something or just blurting something out without really considering or thinking it through how it would make other people feel. And maybe this is happening to you. It could go either way here, but there's some sort of that energy that needs to be, let's be adults here. Let's be a little bit more mature. And also saying your truth, speaking your mind. Don't be afraid to say what's on your mind in yet a very kind and considerate and thoughtful sort of way. But whoever this person is, like, they're not a mind reader. You're not a mind reader. You need to communicate clearly and ask for them to communicate their needs clearly. If they're not communicating and things are a little bit muddled or confusing, it's okay to ask for clarity. Did you mean this? That's something that I'm seeing is coming up, and maybe that's important for you. This is also known as like the spy card. Okay, so something in July is like where you're sort of maybe checking up on this King of Cups person for whatever reason. Maybe things, you know, didn't go very well between the two of you. You guys sort of separated ways, but you still sort of check up on this person on social media. It's kind of the sense that I'm getting. Okay. Moving on, bigger and better plans. Here we have in August. Yes, August. So you could be going somewhere. This is the proverbial, like, you know, travel card, but it's also moving on from the past. We have the Swords energy here. We have the Swords energy as the shadow, and here we have it here. This is probably one of the best Swords cards that there are within this suit, because it's like moving on to bigger and better things. Okay, no longer, you know, dwelling in the past. I do see like the, you know, maybe the family here, so like the father, the mother, and the child, sort of that domestic sort of feeling, like, okay, smooth sailing, you know, let's just look towards the future and not get, you know, drugged back into the past, you know. Maybe there's something that you and somebody else will just never agree on. And it's sort of okay to disagree. And they say like the best compromise is when neither party is really happy. So both of you are sort of settling just for the sake of harmony. And that's the sense that I get with this. It's like something is sort of, you're moving on in August. Okay. I also see that, you know, in another scenario, there is somebody that you may be planning to go on a trip with. And that would be really nice for your summer. Okay, but with the shadow cards sort of coloring this energy here, I get that, you know, planning this beautiful trip with, you know, your mate or your lover and going somewhere to enjoy a vacation. Maybe a few of you Geminis will have, but this card doesn't really indicate that. So that could be the case for some, but not most. Okay, so here we have, in things get really bright. So everything's sort of like gray and blue. Gray is wisdom. Blue is truth. And so you're searching for the truth, and maybe in the wisdom is that either like no one's right, right? Again, so it's sort of that compromise of like no one's happy. Let's just sort of move on. Let bygones be bygones, that sort of thing. Things get a lot brighter, okay? You're feeling more grounded, down to earth sort of energy. The Knight of Pentacles is someone or something, a situation that's bringing in something very solid. Oftentimes this is like someone who delivers money to you. So it's like a fat paycheck or something that comes in that feels very rewarding to you. And I see that as being the first half of September, where things get really, really bright. So if things were kind of like maybe a little bit ugly with someone, it's like you can sort of work out your differences and sort of move on slowly but surely here in the future. So that's kind of what I'm seeing overall for your summer, is lots of swords energy. There's a person and yet another, a character court card, which is like, you know, steady progress and sort of, you know, whatever hiccup this is, it looks like you guys are going to be fine. Okay. All right. I think that the temptation is to not make things worse by having the last say or needing to be right, whatever sort of disagreement you have. It's just like sort of being mature, letting things go, okay? And that's really where the reward is, how you can sort of move forward and things sort of calm down at the end of summer. So I'm pulling this card from the Angels of Light deck to see what angelic energy is going to be with you, with the Gemini signs, Gemini people. What angel is looking after the Geminis? Angel of Clarity. Perfect for all this sword energy. This angel brings you past the ego's voice into that place where the messages you hear are clear. When you have a decision to make, this angel brings the ability to see things as they truly are. Anytime you have a question or desire to see things differently, ask for angelic help from the Angel of Clarity. And this is what that angel looks like. It almost looks like an eye, if you can see it. There's like a spherical shape in sort of the center, seeing the truth. And I mentioned in the very beginning that this felt like an ego battle, something to do with like a power struggle ego. And here we see the first line that's saying, this angel of clarity brings you past the ego's voice. Okay, voice, again, the spoken word. Okay. And also, you know, seeing things differently, or maybe seeing things from another person's perspective will help. And I feel like Gemini, you're able to do that pretty well. You are a dual sign. You are a mutable sign that can sort of go back and forth and see things from another person's perspective. But maybe it's like, this is something that you will never agree on sort of thing. This is like really having that ability to see things as they truly are and see things differently. And you know, sort of move on, see things differently, and just, okay, we're gonna just, you know, let that be. So a lot of clarity. The clarity will come to you here in July, okay? So if you've been sort of struggling with a power battle with somebody, there's some sort of, you know, decision, clarity, message, some sort of truth that's coming in here, asking for truth, asking for better communication that will sort of clear up. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing for this spread. We're going to go ahead and put this down. And I'm going to start the second summer spread that I want to do. This is a new spread for me. I'm really liking trying this out for you guys. So the first card is going to be, what is the source of light for you? And that position is going to be in the center. The second card is, what is fading and that needs to be released? This position is in the bottom left. The third card is what is in the shadows that needs to be brought into the light, and this position is in the upper left. The fourth card is what is ripe and ready for picking. This position is going to be in the upper right. And then the fifth card is how can I reward myself this summer? And this position is in the bottom right. Let's see. Gemini's message for Gemini. Summer spread. Summer spread for Gemini. There it is. Don't really waste time with this card. This deck is really quick. So the source of light, the position in the center is the Ace of Discs. This is something solid, grounded. It's a new energy that you're bringing that's very helpful. It's also a new resource. I feel like your source of light is being resourceful, having sort of that quality. And this is a value card. This is about your values. Maybe you're arguing over values and it seems petty, but down beneath there's a core. The values is the center. That's really what this is all about. Okay. What is fading away? Dominion. Okay. Okay, again, like this two very powerful wills crossing each other. Okay, dominion also could be like a domicile, which would be your home. Okay, I'm seeing that. The third card is what needs to be brought to the light, the devil. Again, I'm just getting the sense of control. Feeling like someone is controlling you and sort of clarifying that, talking about that. Issues of control, like power struggles here. It's also fear. When we are afraid, or when other people are afraid, they tend to cling and grasp and want to control so that they feel some sort of security. That needs to be talked about. That needs to be discussed here. Sometime this summer. Okay. The insecurities is what's causing this behavior. Okay. So what is ripe and ready for picking? Disappointment. Okay. This is some sort of, emotional loss or emotional grievance. Maybe you're ready to tell somebody how they've disappointed you. Or maybe you will hear that from somebody else. What is ripe is disappointment. Okay. I am seeing this sort of symbology. Well, you have the star here, and the star inverted is very much related to the devil, which is like a draining of personal power. Okay. You also have the two sort of lily pads, I guess, in this picture, and they're sort of coming to this point, that highest point in the sky, that apex point where it's sort of coming out into the light. Okay. I feel like it's a mutual feeling of disappointment that you have in somebody or something. It's being reflected here. So this needs to be definitely talked about and worked through. You have the Five of Cups, which sort of mirrors that Five of Swords energy that we saw in the last layout. What is a way that you can reward yourself this summer? The Ace of Swords. Clarity, communication. I feel like you are picking up this sword. You are picking up this sword. You're asking for clarity instead of just, pushing back or, standing up for yourself in like an aggressive way. You're asking questions. You're asking probing questions about values, getting to the core. This energy pierces through anything that's superficial, and it really gets down to the heart of the matter, which is really about beliefs. What is it that you believe? Okay. All right. So you're dealing with another very strong-willed person, but it's somebody that's very likable. Okay. And it looks like you can move on from this and have something to really work with that is more of that valuable energy, something that's you know, again, you're being resourceful when it comes to like, you know, communication, knowledge, using wisdom, all of that, and rising above anything petty, being mature. This is a more evolved energy, a more mature energy. You've learned and you've grown with this person. Okay. So that's the energy that I am seeing for the Geminis for the summer. I hope this was helpful to you and enjoyable for you to watch. Thank you for liking and sharing my videos and for subscribing to my channel. Have a wonderful summer, Gemini. If you would like a personal reading that is specific to you and your needs and circumstances, feel free to contact me through my website or my business email. I'll go ahead and leave the links in the description box below. Otherwise, I will see you in the upcoming videos. Until next time, take care and be well.